Good day, YouTube, and welcome to another episode of the Albino Rhino Beer Review. We have one of these dumb Heineken openers. I don't like these bent ones. I don't find they are very ergonomic, no matter which way you use them. And we're going to drink a beer. The reason I brought that up is that's the opener I'm using today. Today we're going to drink this beer from Half Hours on Earth. This is 4.8% alcohol by volume. Half Hours on Earth, of course, in Seaforth, Ontario, in an old creamery building. This is Train Island, which is an American farmhouse pale ale. But dang, boys and girls, but dang. What do we have on the back here? Ale beer. Brewed and bottled at Half Hours on Earth, Seaforth, Ontario. Bottled on 2006-06-30. Excuse me, keep refrigerated. Drink fresh. Well, today is 07/10, so yeah, we're looking at like a 10-day-old beer. We got the Kronenberg. You know what? No, we're not going to use the Kronenberg glass. We're going to push the Kronenberg glass over there. Hopefully, it's off camera. That one doesn't even have to be used today. We're going to use the Muskoka glass. I didn't buy a I didn't buy a Half Hours on Earth glass when I was there. I didn't really think of it, and by the time my day was done, I had spent way too much money on beer anyway. I only had to buy one package of beer when I was there because the other two packages of beer were pre-bought. But I mean, I hit up Forked River and spent at Forked River $25 more for 6 beers less. Then I hit up Blue Elephant and spent the same amount of money on Blue Elephant beers for 22 beers as I did on the 6 beers I picked up at Forked River. So I had spent a good deal of money on beer that day. Don't tell her. Keep that to ourselves. Okay, nice haze, nice color. That almost looks like that almost looks like, say, like an apple cider. Looks great. Nice bright white head. A little bit of snap, crackle, pop. Smell test. Oh man. Mango, orange, passion fruit. Mango, orange, passion fruit. A little bit of lime. This smells great. This is almost like a Five Alive. But Five Alive has a few other things in it than what I just said. But that don't matter. That don't matter. Let's try the beer. Cheers. Now it almost looks like mango juice, now that I've poured all the sludge in. It makes me not even want to talk about that first sip. Let's try another sip. Cheers. Okay, the first thing I'm going to say is Train Island is, well, all of Half Hours on Earth's bottles are 500 milliliter bottles. This is supposed to be a 500 milliliter glass. I took my first sip and then poured more in. And after I took my first sip and then poured more in, and I didn't take a little sip either, I just hit the fill line after taking back my first swig. So on these glasses, I think you're probably getting gypped about 50 milliliters, would be my guess. Just bringing that up because a lot of glasses will have a fill line, which is great, as long as you've tested your fill line. And remember, this is a Muskoka glass, not a Half Hours on Earth glass. Now to the flavor. This smells divine. It tastes okay, and it's only 10 days old, so it's not like the hops have faded or anything. It's not like well, I guess maybe we could play the ply me the elder type of thing and be like, oh my god, it's 10 days old, drain pour. But it's a nice beer, but it's not. How will I say this without getting anybody riled up? Half Hours on Earth makes some of my favorite beers of this year. Makes some of the best beers I've had in Ontario, period. This is a good beer. However, the fact that it's brewed by Half Hours on Earth and not somebody else might hurt it a little bit. Because Half Hours on Earth has built itself this pedestal that makes me think of what I can get from them. Where this is more an approachable beer. This is one of their not sour beers. A lot of their beers are tart. This one is not. It's a good beer. It's just not what I'd expect now from Half Hours on Earth. Really, almost no malt flavor at all. It's not balanced in the thought of malt versus hops, but it's balanced in the thought of sweet, fruity hops to bitter hops on the back end. There is a good resiny bitterness, just that bitterness that fills up in the back corners of your mouth and on the back of your tongue and stuff. There is a nice resiny bitterness up at the forefront, and this is a flavor I haven't brought up in a beer in a while, and a lot of beers use the hops that bring out this flavor, but they're just not showcased. Maybe it's because it's only 10 days old, maybe it's because he balances his hops a little better, but there's a nice pineapple flavor in here. A little bit of pineapple, a little bit of mango, some orange, a little bit of grapefruit pith. Like, it just took a nice big bite right out of one, and then that resiny backbone. So there is a beautiful flavor profile going on. Again, my only thing is that I expect, and this is the problem when a brewery does really good. I mean, this has happened with Bose, and it took a long time for Bose to get there. But I mean, now that I'm over 3,700 beers, when I start with a brewery that's just blown me out of the water with their first few beers they send me, then my expectations gets high. So you might love this beer, and you're perfectly fine to love it. I don't really love it, and I think it is a little bit of a step back from what they normally do. However, you need some not sour beers that you can get out fast, and this is one of the ones that you could do that with. You need some not sour beers for the people that don't like sours, and this is one of the ones you can do that with. And you need some not sour beers just to have some not sour beers. And again, this works. Out of 10 on this, you know what? I'd probably give it a. Would I buy this again or not? Oh, and the reason I ask that is because you guys know that my rating scale, and it pisses off some people, isn't just on the basis of how good the beer is. It's also on the basis of would I actually purchase the beer again. And I don't know. I don't know if I would purchase this one again or not. It is a fine beer. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just not as great as other things that they make. And I think because of saying that, I'm going to have to say normally I wouldn't purchase it again. Because if I took the trip out to Seaforth again, which is 2.5 hours away, if I took the trip out to Seaforth again, I would not purchase this beer unless it's all they had. And with the size that they're working with, that is always quite possible. However, if this was at the LCBO, I might actually purchase it again because it was sitting there in front of me and I know it's a good beer. So I will give this a 7 out of 10 for that reason. It is a beer I could purchase again, but not if I have to make the trip out to Seaforth to get it. If I had to make it out to Seaforth to get it, I'd probably give it a 6.75. There's nothing wrong with the beer. It is a good beer. It's a nice American pale ale. It it hits all the marks it should hit. It's just not special enough to make me want to buy it compared to the other beers that he makes. And that's where I'm at. And that's fine. He makes some amazing beers, and he makes some good beers, and there's only been one beer I haven't liked so far. And, yeah, we're going down a good road, ratio-wise, for love to not love right now. I mean, it's mostly love, and that's great. Thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful evening. Au revoir, a bientôt. See you soon. Bye-bye. We're going to push this over here, and we'll drink it later when we're watching our TV shows. We'll get this bottle out of the way, and I'm going to stand up. I'm in